You're 17, sitting at your kitchen table with a hand-me-down laptop, building a spreadsheet to figure out whether your family can afford a newer car. Your mom says the monthly payment is $420. Your dad says that's not the real cost. You don't understand what he means. So you open Excel. Payment, insurance, gas, registration, maintenance. The total is almost $600 a month. You stare at the number. For the first time, you realize money has layers. 2 decades later, you're walking out of a boardroom after presenting next year's budget. The CEO signs off. $1 billion in revenue. A $14 million operating plan. A compensation package worth more than your parents earned in 10 years combined. Between those two moments sits the entire career of a financial manager in America, and what it actually costs to climb. Level 1. The spreadsheet. You're 18. Freshman year. Everyone wants to be an investment banker. Everyone wants to be a hedge fund manager. You just want a job that pays. You major in finance. The average public university costs thousands per year before housing. Private schools cost much more. You work weekends. You learn Excel. Not basic Excel. Real Excel. VLOOKUP. Index match. Pivot tables. Financial modeling. The first spreadsheet takes 6 hours. The next takes 3. The next takes 1. A professor tells you something you'll remember forever. The person who understands the numbers controls the conversation. At the time, it sounds dramatic. Years later, you'll realize he was right. Level 2. The intern. You're 20. The internship pays $19 an hour. You thought finance would feel important. Instead, you're updating reports, fixing formulas, checking expense receipts, printing PowerPoint slides for meetings you aren't invited to. The analysts seem important. The managers seem powerful. The CFO occupies an entirely different universe. You stay late, not because you're asked to, because you're trying to understand what everyone else already knows. One night, a senior analyst notices you're still there. He teaches you how to build your first financial model. Revenue, expenses, cash flow, sensitivity analysis. You leave at 9:30 p.m. You feel like you've learned more in 3 hours than an entire semester of class. Level 3. The analyst. You're 23. Degree finished. Student loans waiting. The offer arrives. Financial analyst. $68,000 a year. More money than you've ever seen. The first paycheck feels enormous. The rent arrives. The health insurance deduction arrives. The student loan payment arrives. Suddenly it feels smaller. You build forecasts, variance reports, budget reviews, management presentations. You learn that executives don't want data. They want answers. A manager asks why travel expenses are 11% over budget. You spend 6 hours finding the reason. He presents it in 30 seconds. You learn another lesson. Finding the answer and communicating the answer are different skills. Level 4. Senior analyst. You're 28. 5 years in. You know every department. Sales, operations, marketing, human resources. Everyone has an opinion. The numbers don't. You earn around 6 figures now. The responsibility arrives faster than the money. A recession scare hits. Revenue drops. The company freezes hiring. Leadership wants scenarios. Best case. Expected case. Worst case. You build models until midnight. One worksheet influences decisions affecting hundreds of employees. Nobody outside finance ever sees your work. You start understanding the strange reality of the profession. When you do your job perfectly, nobody notices. When you're wrong, everyone notices. Level 5. The finance manager. You're 34. For the first time, people report to you. 3 analysts. Then 5. Then 7. You spend less time building spreadsheets. More time reviewing them. You used to solve problems. Now you own them. A department misses budget by $2 million. The CFO wants answers tomorrow morning. You don't sleep much. The presentation goes well. The CFO nods. The meeting ends. Nobody applauds. Nobody celebrates. That's finance. Success usually sounds like silence. Level 6. The director. You're 40. Compensation has crossed into territory your younger self couldn't imagine. Bonus. Stock grants. Retirement contributions. Executive benefits. You attend strategy meetings now. New facilities. Acquisitions. Product launches. Debt financing. You discover something surprising. The numbers were never the hard part. People are the hard part. Every forecast is really a prediction about human behavior. Customers, employees, competitors, investors. You spend less time in Excel, more time in conference rooms. The influence grows. So does the pressure. Level 7. The CFO. You're 48. The board meeting starts at 8. You've been awake since 5. Revenue exceeds $1 billion. Every major decision passes through your office. Investors want growth. Employees want raises. Banks want confidence. The CEO wants certainty. You know certainty doesn't exist. Only probabilities. You present the plan anyway. The board approves it. The stock rises. Nobody sees the hundreds of assumptions hidden beneath the model. That's the job. Making uncertainty understandable. You're 58. A younger finance manager sits across from you. Sharp. Hungry. Reminds you of yourself. You're preparing for retirement. The company is healthy. The balance sheet is strong. The team is ready. You walk through the office one last time. Rows of analysts. Dual monitors. Spreadsheets glowing on screens. One kid is staring at a budget model, trying to understand why the numbers don't balance. He doesn't notice you walking by. He doesn't know your story. He doesn't know you started at a kitchen table trying to figure out whether your family could afford a car. He doesn't know that every forecast, every budget, every board presentation started with that same curiosity. The meeting ends. The retirement account is funded. The mortgage is paid off. The laptop closes. For 40 years, you spent your life managing money. And in the end, what you really managed was decisions.